Good morning, everyone. I'd like you all to take a deep breath of this beautiful fall air. Wonderful, cleansing, and smoke-free. And we're going to keep it that way. You know, it's just in the past couple years, we've had a series of press events at this particular playground. Right behind us, when I first took office, we had a press event with the Municipal League. We replaced all of the playground equipment as part of a large community project. Then Chris Franklin and his foundation, Chris Franklin, the Harlem Globetrotter, came and he fixed up the basketball court and put new lights and a new paving surface. And then recently, just a few weeks ago, we had a press conference with the PPL Foundation, and they are replacing the pavilion with a much grander, larger style pavilion. And so it is fitting that we return again today here with the PA Department of Health, the American Lung Association, and the YMCA of Greater Harrisburg to talk about how we are going to make sure and ensure that this playground remains smoke-free for all of the young lungs at play. And the first thing you're going to notice is that on either side of this podium, we have brand new signs, both in English and in Spanish, which designate this playground and all of our playgrounds throughout the city, and importantly, our pools as well, our two pools, as smoke-free. This is not only a public health initiative, it is also an initiative which shows how much we care about our youth and how much we are investing in them. I'm going to be introducing a budget on Tuesday, and in that budget, we're going to be proposing hiring a new park ranger. And part of that park ranger's duties is going to be going from playground to playground, and they will be helping to enforce this ordinance. And from here on out, as City Council adopted, if there is smoking, it is subject to a $50 fine, which is significant. I am joined here today by all the partners that I mentioned. I'd like to give each of them a chance to talk about why this initiative is important, and then we are happy to take your questions. I want to introduce first Dr. Lauren Robinson, who is the Deputy Secretary of Health Promotion for the Department of Health. Dr. Robinson, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. So thank you very much, Mayor Pappenfuse, for having us here today. This is really an exciting event, and we're really honored to be here on behalf of the Department of Health. I just want to tell you all a little bit about Young Lungs at Play. This is a statewide initiative, and so when I say statewide, I don't mean just in a couple cities or a couple towns. Young Lungs at Play is present in all 67 counties. Harrisburg is joining cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Williamsport, who are all cities that have adopted Young Lungs at Play for their playgrounds and, very importantly, also for their parks. This program is a program that the Department of Health holds up in really high regard because we are present across the Commonwealth, and we can proudly say that after nearly 5 years of implementation, nearly 3/4 of the children in our Commonwealth under the age of 15 live in municipalities that participate in Young Lungs at Play, meaning they have access to places where they can get physical activity that are smoke and tobacco free. Young Lungs at Play was developed through a grant that was secured by the Department of Health to initially address childhood asthma, and has now expanded through tobacco prevention regional coalitions across the state with goals of eliminating children's secondhand exposure or exposure to secondhand smoke, getting rid of tobacco litter, which is really important in our parks and playgrounds, and especially denormalizing smoking behavior, especially among youth. So we really need to encourage our youth to not smoke, to not think that it's cool, because it's not. And we're really excited. So today, on the day of the Great American Smokeout, I hope that your efforts continue to protect children from secondhand smoke and tobacco litter in the Harrisburg area. This is a great day. It's a great start for Harrisburg. I look forward to a day when all of our parks in Harrisburg can be smoke-free. Sometimes I go running or bike riding along the river, and what a great day it would be for Harrisburg for that to also be smoke-free. So I'm really excited to be here, and on behalf of the Department of Health and on behalf of the Secretary of Health, we have a certificate and proclamation to offer the city of Harrisburg. And so it reads, a certificate of recognition to the city of Harrisburg for your efforts to protect the health of children and families by preventing tobacco exposure in public settings through the Young Lungs at Play program. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. What an honor. And I do think a good point that you made is that we often times maybe forget the impact of smoking-related litter on our children. And I am proud to say that if you look behind me, you will see a newly vacuumed, raked, and cleaned playground. No litter here, and we want to keep it that way. Next, I want to introduce Deborah Brown, who is the President and CEO of the American Lung Association of the Mid-Atlantic.
Great.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Mayor Papenfuss for having the American Lung Association of the Mid-Atlantic here today to share in this exciting announcement. The American Lung Association in Pennsylvania takes lung health, especially that of our children, very seriously. We couldn't be more pleased to hear today's news and see the unveiling of the Young Lungs at Play at parks and pools throughout the city. According to the American Lung Association State of the Air and census data, you may not have known, but in the city of Harrisburg, there are at least 11,000 infants, children, and teens, of whom roughly 1,200, that's more than 10%, have asthma. We also have, out of 38,500 people aged 18 and over in Harrisburg, nearly 7%, or 2,600, suffer from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And in all of Dauphin County, out of the 61,000 people under age 18, more than 10%, or 6,600, infants, children, and teens have asthma. These estimates are according to the American Lung Association reports. The American Lung Association of Pennsylvania is the regional primary contractor for Tobacco Control Services grant through the Pennsylvania Department of Health. And we cover South Central, North Central, and Northeast regions, which include 35 out of 67 counties in Pennsylvania. So one of our jobs is to urge municipalities to implement Young Lungs at Play program by creating new ordinances or strengthening current policies already in place. And since 2013, we've successfully worked with 20 municipalities in the Commonwealth to enact Young Lungs at Play. Children who are exposed to secondhand smoke are inhaling many of the same cancer-causing substances as smokers. There's no risk-free level of secondhand smoke exposure, and even brief exposure can be harmful. The only way to fully protect yourself or your loved ones from the danger of secondhand smoke is through 100% smoke-free. The American Lung Association in Pennsylvania applauds Mayor Papenfuss, the city of Harrisburg, and its residents for uniting to make our children safer and our environment cleaner so that everyone can breathe healthy air. So thank you.
Thank you. 100% smoke and tobacco free, that's what we want. I want to next introduce Richard Curl, who's the president and CEO of the Harrisburg Area YMCA, and I should note that it was the YMCA which first came to me with this program, and they've been a wonderful, wonderful partner and continue to be a great partner for the city of Harrisburg. Richard.
Thank you, Mayor. When the mayor first started speaking, I was kind of really struck, looking back over my shoulder, just how wonderful a facility this is. And I congratulate the city on being able to have a facility like this and all those that contributed to make it all that it is. So it's just a wonderful asset for the citizens of Harrisburg. My name is Rich Curl, and I am the president of the Harrisburg Area YMCA. And I too would like to thank the mayor for inviting us here today to be a part of this outstanding and wonderful announcement and initiative. The Harrisburg Area YMCA has been a tobacco control program service provider in Dauphin County since 2002. And in recent years as a provider, we have provided services in as many as 5 counties in the state, and currently our focus is on tobacco control services in Dauphin, Cumberland, and Perry counties. One of our focus areas is working with the Department of Health's Young Lungs at Play initiative. And this is a collaborative that we've been working for many years with the American Lung Association. And I just wanted to say, I want to express my gratitude to the American Lung Association for their work with us for so long. It's been a great partnership, and we very much value that. As the mayor said, we came to speak with him. That was back in September. And actually, the YMCA came with the American Lung Association staff and met with the mayor and to present the idea of making the city's parks and playgrounds tobacco-free. And without hesitation, Mayor Papenfuss really supported the idea right from the get-go, and with the support of Harrisburg City Council, really wanted this initiative to take place as soon as possible. And here we are today.
We move quickly, don't we?
It's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I think both the mayor and Harrisburg City Council really understand that exposure to secondhand smoke is really a public health and safety issue, and that children and families from Harrisburg need to be protected from these dangers. And I can mention really the cancer-causing substances that are in tobacco smoke. And it's just a wonderful development to be able to make this announcement today and have that take place. You know, I can say that the Harrisburg Area YMCA, as we stand here today, is excited to be joining the Pennsylvania Department of Health and the American Lung Association, again, Mayor Eric Papenfuss, and Harrisburg City Council in a collective effort to ensure the health and development of our youth in Harrisburg, and to protect the children and families in Harrisburg from the dangers of tobacco use in all of our parks and playgrounds in the city. If I could, I'd like to, again, say how much of an honor it is to be part of today's program. And I'd like to say on behalf of the YMCA staff that are dedicated to providing tobacco control program services, we're very pleased to be a part of this initiative. We are very pleased to be a part of it spreading in all communities, and we thank you for enjoying or having us be here this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And you remind me, this really is an example of just about as quickly as good legislation can get done. I want to thank our Law Bureau, who met with me immediately after our initial meeting, who took some of the language that you all had suggested, incorporated it into what was an older existing ordinance, expanded it, modernized it. And I also want to thank the City Council for acting very quickly. It just took one committee hearing and one session. So we were able to get this done before the fall was out, and that's an impressive example of everybody working together. It passed unanimously, obviously, and we all feel, all of us in positions of leadership in the city, that our youth are this important and that this initiative is absolutely essential to everyone's health and welfare.